Hi everyone, and welcome again to Gold Ray Twin Flames YouTube site. And hopefully today what we're going to accomplish here is I'm going to combine probably three titles into one here. And this would be what some like to call the magnetic attraction between twin flames, and also what may be called the longing or the pull, which some of you may have heard about or have experienced. And hopefully I'll be able to get it all into one video. If not, well, I'll do two. In any case, the first thing that I wanted to touch upon today was the magnetic attraction. And I wanted to mention this just from mine and Nicole's experience, and also from the experience of others, twin flames that we have worked with over the years. And when we talk about the magnetic attraction, keep in mind the magnetic attraction is created between a set of twin flames. We can call it an energetic magnetic attraction if you want, for lack of a better expression. That's probably a better way of putting it, actually. It is created because in the original format, as everyone knows, twin flames are a one soul, so therefore they have one higher self and actually one energy body in their original form. So therefore when they split and take on physicality, that energy body is in essence split. And at the time of the split, and as they manifest in physical reality or wherever, they take on something called individuality. And individuality is an expression we're very familiar here with on the earth plane. And this will give you a little bit of a clearer picture of the magnetic pole, because there seems to be some people getting confused between the magnetic pole and the longing and the pull as being one and the same thing when they're not. There are three distinct different levels of a twin flame union attempting to come together, and I just wanted to kind of put that in based on from our own personal experience. The other aspect that seems to be quite important these days is the longing and the pull. And we have a whole pile of people speaking about it, and in regards to the situation, I just want to make mention of this. As we have a whole lot of people talking about the magnetic attraction, we have a whole lot of people talking about the longing or the pull, and most of these people, I'm going to mention again here, and I'm going to be blunt, are not with their twin flames. And in my opinion, they can't possibly know what it's like. And I don't particularly mind saying that if they're empathic or intuitive, it basically comes down to hands-on experience. If you haven't lived it, you can't talk about it. It applies in every other area of life, and it also applies in regards to the twin flame connection. Now, in regards to the longing and the pull, I want to go in a different direction here, as opposed to what some other people have explained. And when it comes to the longing and the pulling, and we get into the area of twin flames fighting or disagreeing, I want to put it in a different kind of a way here. And it's this: the magnetic attraction is the rejoining of the original energy body. That's very simple. It's also a rejoining of the original spiritual body that contains the original format of the twin flame union, the masculine and the feminine. I'm sure everybody is understanding that. And what is happening at this particular point is, as twin flames are manifesting on the planet and reunion is being attempted, what you're dealing with after the magnetic coming together of the energy body, you're dealing with the melding and the merge. And the melding and the merge consists of the rejoining in actual of the other bodies. And the other bodies, I've mentioned them before, consist of the physical body, the etheric body, the emotional body, the mental body. The one energy body and the spiritual body have already joined at the first coming together or whatever. Now what happens is once this particular merge and aspect has taken place, we get into the other bodies. And it's the other bodies, particularly the emotional body, particularly the mental body, and also the physical, not the physical body, excuse me, but the etheric body, that become the areas of concern. And this is what happens. The situation as such is, if they do come together, and there is the impediments, the belief systems, the arguing, the fighting that's coming out, what is happening at this particular point is an energy exchange is taking place. The creation of the longing or the pull has already been made manifest prior to this. And what is happening is this is the other bodies, the emotional body, the mental, the etheric, and even the physical body, attempting to blend and to merge also. This creates the longing and the pulling effect that goes on. Now, here's the important part. The idea of twin flames is a template. They're a template to emanate, radiate, live in a state of being of service to individual, which emanates unconditional love. That's what twin flames are here for. They're not here for a relationship and a romance, although there is that, but it's not priority. So what happens is, as they come together, if there are imbalances within themselves, be it belief systems, patterns, ideologies, philosophies, and it will depend upon what part of the planet they're from, what cultural beliefs they come from, what religious applications they come from what race they come from, what part of the planet they grew up in. All of this will come into play. So that what happens is, as they come together, sooner or later, the impulses from the other bodies, the energetic imprints, the belief systems, the patterns start being expressed outwardly. So actually, in fact, to say that twin flames get into disagreements or fights is really, and I've come to the point where I now realize that it's not really a correct way of putting it, because what they're doing is they're expressing, through the expressing of consciousness, the blockages or the impediments that are imbalances within themselves, and it's coming out in that format. It's not really fighting, it's actually expression of impediments that need to be expressed, so that in actual fact they can come together. The problem is we are still using the same old modalities of assisting these people in coming together, and they're not working. Because what happens is, a set of twin flames will come together. Initially, they're into the euphoria, the romance, the ecstasy, and the blending and the merging, and all of the rest of the stuff that goes on with it. And what happens is then the impediments start coming up. Now, also, I want to make mention at this particular point also, it's not necessarily do all twin flames have the difficulty of impediments or blockages, or the longing or the pull. For example, when Nicole and I came together, Nicole did not have the longing and the pull. She basically, as we go back and we looked on it in retrospect now, was pretty much a very balanced woman. And she didn't feel any of that. And as we were talking about it the other day before we did this video, before I did it, doing this video, sorry, is we realized that I was the one that had a lot of impediments and imbalances within myself. In other words, my masculine and feminine side were not in balance. Nicole, upbringing was a little different, and she was in balance. So she didn't have the longing and the pull. I did. And actually, to give you a comparison from a guy point of view, the longing and the pull that some people talk about, it feels like a very bad toothache, excuse me, multiplied by 10. if you can put it that way. And I understand totally what people talk about because I've experienced it. And I found out that I had the issues within myself that needed to be addressed or dealt with. And a lot of people don't like hearing that. They, they don't want to understand that one or both can have these issues come up. And what happens is this longing or this pull that comes up is the one individual who is attempting to reunite with their compatible frequency of themselves, which is a one soul energy being, if I can put it that way. And they can't because these impediments or blockages are getting in the way. So what happens is this is what causes the disagreements, the arguments, and whatever. So if individuals can understand this, that once they have worked it out on their own, or they need to get some assistance to work it out on their own, and a lot of this stuff takes place within the etheric body also, it then becomes very much in their awareness that they can come together. And the important thing to remember is this, is in order for a set of twin flames to begin to emanate the unconditional love, or in other words, what I like to call the third energy, and I've done 3 videos on the third energy. A lot of people out there understand what this energy is about. Twin flames have to be in a balanced, synergistic frequency of compatibility, if I can put it in that terminology. And this is what takes place within the both of them. Now, also what needs to take place is all of those additional bodies that I have mentioned, which a lot of people again don't talk about, but it seems to be there in the New Age community, the 5 bodies. It applies the same thing to a twin flame union. The 5 bodies have to be synergistically and in resonant frequency and a balance of masculine and feminine with each other for the twin flames to come together. And in some cases, you have to understand also here that I'm noticing that twin flames, if and when they do come together and they've done some of the blending or the merging, there is also a growth factor or a learning curve that they have to go through, even when they've come together, in regards to their personal state of consciousness, the compatibility factor with each other in regards to frequency and consciousness, and also what I call spiritual maturity. They have to grow and evolve. So you will notice, probably as you go around YouTube and other websites, that a lot of the information that's being presented comes from the consciousness of the twin flames that are giving it at that particular point in time. And it's become very obvious to me that not all twin flames are the same, and we're not all resonating from the same frequency. So that is why in some cases you'll see a lot of distortion, depending upon where they are, of information. It doesn't mean they're wrong, and it doesn't mean I'm right. It just means that depending upon the union and how it's unfolded in regards to balance, will dictate how the information is presented. And I guess what it boils down to is you, the viewer, will have to choose something that resonates with you according to the frequency of where you're at. Now, we have found also in regards to working with a lot of twin flame couples that the balance of the masculine and feminine and dealing with the issues that are coming up need to be done in a very gentle, nurturing fashion, that they need to understand that when there is disagreement, it's only imbalance within one or both. That if they continue to maintain the connection in some format, the balance will be achieved. Now, even if they do part and it doesn't come back together again, you need to remember again, always there is that exchange between the two for whatever the circumstances are. And the potential of creating the third energy becomes even more important. The more synergistically they're compatible, the more third energy they can produce. It's a very simple process. That is a very brief description of what's been happening here. Hope it's been enjoyable for you. Good day.